Welcome to the Election News Headquarters with our program, The Great Indian Election. We are looking at Phase 5. We are about to hit Phase 5 on Monday morning. We're taking a quick look at two regions in Phase 5, the northern and the eastern region of India. Let's get started. Well, we are back to Phase 5 of elections. Phase 4, Phase 5, you haven't got breathing space to pick those numbers, but Phase 5 very much breathing down, as Monday is when Phase 5 of voting will take place. We have divided this particular phase into two halves. We are looking at north and the eastern part today. The south is done over and out. Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir, the Union Territory, you've got a seat in Ladakh, Baramulla that goes to vote. Uttar Pradesh, where the big battle will be played. Political heavyweights, fates will be decided. Uttar Pradesh, 13 seats in Uttar Pradesh. Maharashtra, last phase of voting in Maharashtra. Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, big seats. Nasik, all go to polls in this final phase of elections. A quick look at north now. North and east that we are looking at today. You've got Ladakh, you've got Baramulla, Uttar Pradesh, 13 seats. Jharkhand that follow in the north. In Uttar Pradesh, you've got Jammu and Kashmir, 2 seats there, Ladakh 1, Baramulla next. Uttar Pradesh, you've got the Awadh region that's getting covered here. Most of Awadh region and Bundelkhand region, 10 seats in Awadh, 4 seats in Bundelkhand region. Talking about Jammu and Kashmir, Baramulla, 1 seat in Baramulla that goes to polls. Looking at the healthy numbers that Srinagar is shown, are we looking at better numbers? Are we looking at Baramulla, setting new numbers in these elections of 2024? Ladakh, another interesting battle that you could see. Ladakh also goes to poll in this particular phase. So these two seats are going to be interesting to watch out for. Coming to Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh, as I mentioned, 10 seats in the Awadh region, 4 seats in the Bundelkhand region. Look at that Bundelkhand region for you. Hamirpur, Banda, Jalon and Jhansi, the 4 seats in that region in Bundelkhand. Rest all the seats, Raebareli, Amethi, Lucknow, Mohanlal Ganj, Faizabad, Kaisarganj, Gonda, all seats there in the Awadh region, and some interesting heavyweights in action in this particular phase. The north has 16 seats in this phase of election, that's phase 5. BJP has the lion's share when it comes to 14 seats. That's the Jammu and Kashmir National Conference, Omar Abdullah's party or Farooq Abdullah's party having 1 seat there in Baramulla, and the Congress picking up 1 seat. That's the seat of Amethi they managed to win in 2019. Juxtapose that numbers in today's times, 2024 elections that we are looking at. NDA has 14 seats of that 16. The opposition bloc has 2 seats, one in Srinagar, one in Baramulla, and the other seat of Raebareli. Shifting focus to the eastern part of India, there are 21 seats in the eastern part of India, 7 in West Bengal, 5 each in Bihar and Odisha, and 3 seats in Jharkhand. That makes it 20 seats. I beg your pardon. That makes it 20 seats in this particular phase of election. And let's begin with the seats that we are looking at. The first state that we are looking at is Bihar. Bihar is generally the Madhubani region. The Madhubani comes in that Mithilanchal region. All other seats, the 4 seats in the north Bihar region that we are looking at, Saran, Hajipur, Muzaffarpur and Sitamarhi in that north Bihar region. Looking at Jharkhand, Jharkhand not much to choose from, 2 seats in Chota Nagpur region, and because it's bordering, and also 1 seat of Chhatra that goes to polls from Jharkhand. Shifting to the state of Odisha. Odisha, we've got southern Odisha, 1 seat, 2 seats in southern Odisha. That's 2 seats in southern Odisha, 1 seat in northern Odisha, and 2 seats in western Odisha that goes to polls in this particular phase of election. Finally, West Bengal that we are looking at. West Bengal, it's an interesting battle that you would see in the seats in West Bengal. All 7 seats in West Bengal. We're going to take a look at all the star candidates whose fates will be decided in this elections in West Bengal. Remember, West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar are across all 7 phases of elections. So we could look forward to, the political battle the waters clearing as we pass through one phase to another. 20 seats in the eastern part in this particular phase. BJP picks up the lion's share, 12 seats. Mamata Banerjee's Trinamool Congress picking up 4 seats. You've got the BJD picking up 2, the JDU, Nitish Kumar's party picking up 1, LJP, Chirag Paswan, Ramvilas Paswan's party now the baton being passed to Chirag Paswan getting that 1 seat. Put that numbers against the 2024 numbers that we're looking at. The NDA has 14 of the 20, others 6, Mamata Banerjee's 4, and we are putting 2 more seats in this particular bracket, completing the 20 seats. The opposition having no presence or looking or having no footprint, especially in the eastern part of India in this particular phase of elections. A quick look at the star candidates whose fates will be decided in this particular phase. Rajiv Pratap Rudy fighting from Saran, and Rajiv Pratap Rudy getting a big challenge in Rohini Acharya, that's Lalu Prasad Yadav's daughter in this phase of election. Chirag Paswan, as I mentioned, LJP leader, a part of the NDA alliance in Bihar, having a strong fight to give, a strong battle that he faced. Odisha, we've got two leaders there, Jual Oram, minister, union minister there, Annapurni Devi, another minister there, fighting her political fortunes, looking for her political fortunes to shine from Jharkhand. Well, moving to the next slide, there are 6 more names that we're looking at, all from Maharashtra put together. Piyush Goyal, heavyweight, Union Commerce Minister, fighting from Mumbai North. Bharti Pawar, fighting from the interior part of Maharashtra, looking at the seat that she is fighting from. Bharti Pradhan fighting from Dindori. Kapil Patil, Union Minister, fighting from Maharashtra, a keen battle that he faces. Remember, it's a battle of Shiv Senas that you would see for this particular seat that Kapil Yadav fights. Shrikant Eknath Shinde, the Chief Minister's son, fighting from Kalyan. An interesting battle. Remember, the 2 Shiv Senas, the 2 NCPs, all are in the political fray. This is the fight where you're trying to win the voters' trust, and I think the Shiv Sena, both Eknath Shinde faction as well as the Uddhav Thackeray faction know if Thane, Kalyan along with Mumbai South is captured, you know where the voters, which side the voters are moving, you'll get a clearer picture. Ujjwal Nikam, the special prosecutor in the 2611 Ajmal Kasaf case, been given a ticket here. He's fighting another political heavyweight. He's taking on Varsha Gaikwad for that seat, a seat that Varsha Gaikwad's father had once held. She's back to claim that political legacy. So it's going to be a good battle there between Ujjwal Nigam and Varsha Gaikwad. Finally, Subhash Bhamre, former union minister, in the election fray in this particular election battle. So we have put 12 names together, 12 star candidates that we are looking in this particular phase of election. We're sticking with elections, looking at elections, new numbers that are thrown every time. But this time or today, our focus is on the first-time voters. How are they doing? We have close to 18 million first-time voters in this election battle. Let's quickly take a look at what are they looking for in India's parliamentary elections. We've got an interesting story. Take a look.
The essence of democracy is embodied by the decisive, diligent and dutiful youth of any nation. And India proudly houses world's largest youth population. As India's general election progresses, over 18 million first-time voters are making their presence felt in the 2024 elections. A staggering 194.7 million individuals aged 20 to 29 are engaging in the electoral process, reflecting a population where over 50% are under the age of 25. As the young voters step into their roles as citizens, it's imperative that they understand the importance of exercising their right to vote.
Since times immemorial, when I was in school, we have been taught and imbibed in our mind that democracy is of the people, by the people and for the people. And to live that code, it is very important and pertinent for all of us to go out and vote.
If you want to change the society, if you want something to happen in the country, you have to go to vote first.
Having the chance to vote and express concerns through this opportunity, their active involvement in the electoral process directs the nation's path for the years ahead.
Vote is a matter of privilege, and for me the issue is going to be the education one, because I believe education is the one thing which impacts in the entirety of Indian community.
I would be concerned about the good leader, and beside that I would be going for a good candidate who is from my constituency, who would help me and my area to develop
According to me, is being able to given the power that I myself can choose a political party that can rule this huge of a country. So that is pretty exciting for me.
And from the corridors of University of Delhi, we've delved into the hopes and perspectives of India's first-time voters. And as the nation continues its journey to the ballot boxes, their influence is set to leave an impact on our future. With video journalist Vishwa Bandhu, Kirat Chawla for DD India in New Delhi.
Well, time now to get all our correspondents there tracking these elections for us, joining us this evening to take the deliberations forward because they get you the pulse from the ground. All 5 reporters there joining us this evening. Tapash joining us, Tapash Bhattacharya joining us from Lucknow. We've got Gautam Roy joining us from Ladakh, Dibendu Mondal joining us from West Bengal, Salman Haider joining us from Patna, Ashutosh Mishra joining us from Bhubaneswar. Let me first come to you, Tapash. Looking at this elections and the fortunes of political heavyweights, especially in UP, how do you see this political battle play out, especially in this phase?
Well, there are 14 parliamentary constituencies that will go to polls in this particular phase. In fact, BJP is banking on the next 3 phases in UP to up their tally from 61 that they had last time around. So they are looking forward, that they increase their tally from the last time around that they had. So as I mentioned, there are 3 major what you call the seats that are up for grabs. The first is definitely the one in Rai Bareli, the second is Amethi, and the third is where I am currently, the Lok Sabha seat of Lucknow. So these are high profile what you call seats in Uttar Pradesh. Now in this phase, as I mentioned, 14 seats will be going for 4 polls. In the next phase 6 also there will be another 14, and then in the last phase also you have 13 seats. So in all these seats matter a lot because there will be direct conflict that will happen. And remember, in the last 2 elections, Lok Sabha election in 2014 and 2019, the 2014 BJP got more than 70 seats, and in 2019 they got more than 61. They got 61 seats. So if they want to have any chances of having a third term, they need to make the most of these 3 states and these 3 phases. And that's one reason why you had Prime Minister Narendra Modi today and tomorrow he will be having 7 rallies in the state. And as I mentioned, there's an old saying that the route to Delhi goes through Uttar Pradesh, and if, as I mentioned, if any party wants to have any say in the seat of power in Delhi, UP is the place they want to have the most say. So that is one reason why you have all the people, especially Rahul Gandhi, Smriti Irani, you have Rajnath Singh. They're all working hard to make sure that they win their respective seats.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate you joining us. Let's shift to Dibendu Mondal joining us from West Bengal. Dibendu, how do you look at the political battle in West Bengal? Looking at West Bengal going to poll across all 7 phases, what could be something that is very interesting in this particular phase?
Well, Anil, that's right. I could not hear your question properly, but what I understand is you're asking about the political landscape of West Bengal and that it is going to polls in 7 phases. But I'll quickly answer that question. I am currently at a rally that has been organized by the BJP in the Bangaon Lok Sabha constituency, and particularly in this phase, there are 7 constituencies that are going to polls in Bengal. As you rightly said, there are 7 Bengal is going to polls in all the 7 phases, and of course because of the fact that there have been multiple issues of cases of violence, poll-related violence that have been reported in the state of West Bengal over the last many years, which is why after a careful study of the political landscape of West Bengal, the Election Commission decided to hold the election in 7 phases. West Bengal is a very politically active live in a where state, so therefore each and every individual takes part or has a political allegiance in this particular state. So of course, interesting battle here in West Bengal, and many candidates in fray in this particular phase of the elections as well. Back to you.
Okay, Dipendu, I'll ask you to stay with us. Let's shift to Leh, Ladakh, where Gautam Roy joins us. Gautam, this is the first election in the region after a union territory has been carved out. What's the buzz? What's the sense that you get on the ground when polling takes place on Monday?
Well, Anil, it is, of course, good evening, but as they say in Ladakh, Jule to you from Kargil. In fact, I'm this evening in Kargil, travelled all day from Leh almost to get a sense of what's really happening in Kargil, because the battle for Ladakh, which is just one parliamentary seat, is now between, so to speak, Leh, which is one district, and Kargil on the other, because what's happened is that in Leh, there are two candidates, one from the BJP, Tashi Gyaltsen, who in fact is a nouveau candidate because the sitting MP from the BJP did not get this ticket. A new person was brought in. From the Congress, there's Namgyal, and from the Kargil region, there's one candidate, a consensus candidate, and his name is Haji Hanifa Jan. And now, since these two districts have different communities, the majority Buddhists on one hand in Leh and Muslims on the other hand in Kargil, the battle has become in terms of figuring out how this will impact the outcome of the contest, and there's a lot of speculation that it could lead to the division of votes in Leh, where the candidate from the independent candidate who used to be in the National Conference, which is basically a Kashmir party, a Jammu and Kashmir party, he might emerge victorious. But the two other candidates from the BJP as well as the Congress are giving it their all. I met the Congress candidate today as well, who has been campaigning in this region in Kargil for the last 3 days, and even the BJP candidate has been pushing really hard. The BJP, of course, won the last two elections from Kargil, the Lok Sabha elections, by very narrow margins. In 2014, it was just about 36 votes. 2019, it was a little bit more, about 8.6 or 4%. But this time, it's a tough battle that's been going on for Kargil, just between three candidates.
Okay. Shifting now to Patna, where we've got Salman Haider joining us. Salman, good evening. How does one take a look at elections in Bihar? 40 seats, 19 have voted. How do you see this particular phase, looking at some heavyweights in this election fray, especially big names, big names in this particular phase, whose fates will be decided?
Now, as you already said, Anil, there are two or three, a couple of heavyweights here, like Rajiv Pratap Rudi, who is contesting from Saran. He is, if he wins, he is going to make a hat-trick there. But Rohini Acharya, the younger daughter of Lalu Prasad, you must be remembering, it was she who gave her kidney to save his father's life. So Lalu is all out to retain the seat which was lost so many years ago. So there will be a fight there, and Lalu Yadav and all the Mahagathbandhan allies are making it. They are going to make it all effort there.
Okay.
And another seat now. First of all, these all 5 seats were in NDA's
right.
camp. So all the 5 seats were earlier just sitting MPs are from NDA only.
Okay.
And now today 2 seats of Mithilanchal is also going to poll in this phase, Madhubani and Sitamarhi.
True.
So Home Minister Mr. Amit Shah today held 2 rallies there and tried to
okay.
voters in his favor,
okay.
in his party's favor. Yes, Anil.
Okay, let's now move to Lalu Prasad's legacy being carried forward for Rohini. We'll come back to you for more updates on the story. Let's shift to Ashutosh Mishra joining us from Bhubaneswar. A quick look at the seats there in Odisha. How does one see this election? You know, we have never seen, or we are yet to see violence, but I believe there is some violence that's taken place in Odisha today, and that unsettles, election and the political battle that follows.
You're absolutely right. Last night, in fact, there was violence in a village in Ganjam district under Khalikot Assembly constituency, which falls in Aska Lok Sabha constituency. And this is the first case of major violence in the state. And this time, the battle is very interesting and battle is very fierce also. And it is Prime Minister's personal interest in the state which is making this battle all this important, all this interesting. Prime Minister has visited the state twice. He has addressed at least 4 to 5 rallies. He held a road show in Bhubaneswar, and he is going to hold another road show in Puri on 20th. And other top BJP leaders have been visiting the state. Chief Minister has responded. He held a road show in Bhubaneswar today, and bars are being thrown from both sides.
Okay.
And we in the state, we had never before seen such a recriminatory campaign, but this time, yes. This is because the stakes are high for both the parties.
Okay.
And of the 5 seats going to polls in this round, three are being held by the BJP, 2 are being held by Biju Janata Dal, led by Naveen Patnaik.
Okay.
Of the 3, 1 is held by Jwalaram, former Union Minister, whom he has himself said that this could be his last election. So he has tried to strike an emotional chord with the people.
Okay.
And he is contesting against Biju Janata Dal candidate, former Hockey India chairperson, Dilip Tirki, one of the best defenders that the game has seen.
Okay.
And in Bolangir, the sitting BJP MP, Sangeeta Singh Dev, she is taking on Surendra Singh Bhoi of the BJD.
Okay, so an interesting battle is what you are suggesting that could come from Odisha. Appreciate all the correspondents there on the ground. With us right now, Ashutosh, Salman Haider, Gautam Roy for joining us, helping us understand the elections on the ground, getting us a perspective there on what we can expect on the 20th of this month. Getting now to the experts in the studio, Chakshu Roy, PRS Legislative, joining us to take the deliberations forward. Shekhar Iyer also joining us, senior journalist, senior political journalist, somebody who's with us across the last 1.5 months, helping us understand elections. Let me first come to you, Chakshu. How does one take a look at this particular phase? Anything interesting that you've picked, that could give us a sense, because almost 2/3 MPs or their fates are sealed with 4 phases of elections over?
Yeah, I think about 380 seats,
379
seats have already gone to elections. Couple of interesting things. One, if our viewers were listening to Gautam, he mentioned that he was in Kargil, and the distance between Leh and Kargil is roughly about 200 kilometers, and it is part of the same constituency. So it just showcases as to what is the extent of the size of election and the complexity of conducting elections in this country. So it'll be interesting to see that contest, especially after Ladakh is now a union territory, and what is it that the people want there. The other interesting fact, if you noticed, is that in the 14 seats that are going to elections in Uttar Pradesh, the number of MPs who've had multiple terms in Lok Sabha is quite high. So, for example, from Lucknow, Mr. Rajnath Singh has been in Parliament for quite some time. In Amethi,
Sonia Gandhi, now Rahul Gandhi.
Yeah. So there are extensive parliamentary experience across, and in the West Bengal, just the amount of people contesting elections, I think about at least 12 to 14 candidates per seat. That's quite interesting, especially with the number of seats that are going to pass.
Okay, Shekhar, looking at this particular phase, we are looking at the eastern and the northern part of India in this phase of election. We have not touched west, but what are some of the interesting challenges that you could see in the north and the east?
Well, you see, the battle in Bengal has shifted to the southern part of Bengal, which is where the biggest challenge lies for the BJP as well as for Trinamool. And Mamata Banerjee has been campaigning intensively in all the southern parts, and yesterday she made that announcement that Trinamool Congress will not be part of the government if there is a possibility of formation of government. Rather, they will support from outside.
True.
So political pundits in Bengal and outside have been wondering, why did Mamata chose to make this statement when, right now it's in the thick of the campaign, the fifth phase is ahead, and thereby raising question as to how the opposition alliance is actually working on. Because Mamata had earlier said there is no India alliance in West Bengal.
True.
And whatever will happen will be after the elections. So that is one aspect. And when you talk of North, I think that there is a lot of focus on the two constituencies in Uttar Pradesh particularly, which is the Raebareli and Amethi. Raebareli, we have seen at the last minute, Rahul Gandhi chose to take the plunge.
True.
And there was a lot of speculation as to whether Priyanka would contest from Amethi. And finally, the ticket was given to Kishori Lal Sharma, a person who has been looking after the Raebareli constituency for Sonia Gandhi. So there is a lot of interest as to how the outcomes will be this time, because one is the Raebareli is seen as a traditional seat of the Gandhi family, and in the case of Amethi, with Rahul not contesting this time, how is the battle going to be for Smriti Irani?
Well, two more seats that I would add to the list that you put, Amethi and Raebareli. One is Gonda, from where Uttar Pradesh got its first woman chief minister, and also Kaisarganj, where the battle just gets bigger. Thank you. Appreciate both of you joining us this evening to help us understand this particular phase of elections. Well, the Great Indian Election is your one-stop show on weekdays on all that matters in India's elections. Let's quickly take a sneak peek into what's in store on Friday night. Phase 5 of India's parliamentary elections on May 20th across 49 seats. We analyze the seats from the West and all phases of election. How will the politics in the Western region have an imprint on the voters on voting day? Watch the seats that matter on the Great Indian Election at 8:30 p.m. IST only on DD India. With that, it's a wrap of this edition of the Great Indian Election. You can connect with us on Facebook, X, Instagram. Good night, stay safe, take care.